Good morning, everybody. So, another day in quarantine, another day eating a bunch of junk in your house, right? So, I don't know about you, but I've been a little bit concerned about my waistline. So, yay for me. I had jeans on today. I actually had to zipper them up and button them up, and everything felt great. And they had just come out of the washer. So, I'm doing all right, but we're on the highway to the 600-pound life, right? So I decided that today I need to spruce it up a little bit with some healthy stuff. So today what we're going to do is make a smoothie in our cooking blender. So this is something I have to be honest with you. I'm trying something new today that I haven't made yet. Sure, I've made smoothies before, but we're going to be trying something new. And I had to get a lesson from my daughter last night. How embarrassing is that I had to learn about the Pampered Chef products from my 15-year-old daughter, right? But this is one of her favorite products. She's used it a lot, and I'm excited to try it out. And I have a new book that I am working off of. So this is a Build Your Own Smoothie book. So, what's the front? That one. So I remember when I was growing up, I had like a Build Your Own Monster book or something like that, and it was like my favorite thing because you could flip the pages and find all the different ingredients, and this is just really, really cool. So I thought about the ingredients that I have in my house, and here's what I came up with. Now, I'm altering it because I don't have all of them, so I'm working with what I got here, right? So first I've got my coffee. I woke up and brewed some caramel coffee this morning, so I have that ready, and I put it in a measuring cup and threw it in the fridge for a while, so we've got that going on. Then we have the banana and caramel. I don't have caramel, so I had the caramel coffee, don't have actual caramel, so instead I'm using some homemade peanut butter. Guys, if you're not on the homemade peanut butter wagon, you need to do it. This might not be, well, I don't know, this might be a great time to do it because who's buying the peanuts, right? So go to Aldi or your grocery store. Obviously don't go out of your way, but just buy a jar of peanuts, throw them in that cooking blender. In 2 minutes and 20 seconds you have healthy peanut butter that doesn't have all those preservatives and all that gross stuff, and you'll thank me, trust me, okay? So we're using our banana and peanut butter there, and then our next layer, this calls it the boost. We have rolled oats, don't know what those are, so I have old-fashioned oats, hope they're the same thing. Who knows, right? Toasted coconut, thankfully I did have regular coconut, I'm not going to toast it, and macadamia nuts, heck to the no, okay? So we're not doing any of that, but you know, you can totally change these up as you want, right? Now, so we're going to use this smoothie cup and adapter set, and this is super cool. Number one, because it does give you some guidelines here that you can follow with how you want to layer it up when you're going, but also on the back, it's kind of like a mixed drink schedule or something. Has tons of recipes on here, shows you how to make them, gives you different options, and what do you know, after I already had my recipe picked out of the book, I noticed there was a coffee one on the back of here. Go figure, right? So here's what we're going to do. Let's talk about the cooking blender quick. So normally I would make it in the big pitcher, which is fantastic, right? Because you can just do like everything in here. It cleans itself. I'm making my soups, my sauces, purees, different things like that. Normally I would just make my smoothie in this, but not today, right? So what we're going to do is use this new cup and adapter set. Hot mess. So, ironic that this came off because I wanted to show you this anyways. So this fits right onto the bottom of the cup and it kind of snaps into place there, and I'm like, what's the point of this thing? Because remember, haven't used it yet, Caitlin has. So, look in the bottom of the cup there. What's down with that? You probably can't see it, but this is actually like a colander type thing, and there's measurements on the inside. So there are measurements that go from like a quarter cup, half cup, 1 cup, and 1.5 cups. So you can put your berries in there or some other things, strain them down, clean them, and then they're already measured, so you don't have to do another thing, right? So that's pretty awesome. And then we also have this adapter that just is going to fit right on here. Turn that on in a second. And then we've got the cup that is huge, so this ought to keep you filled for quite a while. I made those waffle sticks yesterday, and I was totally down with eating some today, but I'm like, probably should watch because I gotta wear work pants too, so gotta watch those things. Also, big thick straw, so sometimes when you have those skinny ones, number one, they're a little bit harder to clean, and two, your smoothies always get stuck in them, so we don't want any part of that. So we'll just put all this right here. And when you're building these, I want to follow both of them just so that I know that I'm doing this right. So you want to do your ice first. So, of course, I always have to be different and weird. I don't like a whole lot of ice in my stuff, but I also didn't want to not follow the rules today because I don't know what I'm doing. So we're going to put about half cup of ice in here. Plus, because I don't like all of the ice and the watery and stuff, so what I had done is made some homemade whipped cream. I don't know if I flavored, oh gosh, I do have to smell. This is peppermint. I'm glad that I smelled it before I threw it in because I totally thought that it was leftover caramel. So that would be weird. I also, not going to use it. I'm glad I had the ice cubes out. And this is actually some other stuff. This is not thawed enough, so I'm going to just have this portioned out for other days because I think that's going to be great. But when you make your whipped cream, again, in the cooking blender, just put them into those portion sizes or throw them in the big thing. But I like to put them in the herb freezing tray. This is silicone on the bottom, so they pop right out. Makes it real handy dandy. So you can put it in your coffee or anything like that, or on top of your desserts, ice creams and such. So we'll just use the ice cubes. Look at me following the directions, right? So put the ice cubes in there, and then I have about a cup of coffee that I brewed, put in the fridge earlier today. So we've got that. Now the recipe calls for, well, I've got conflicting reports. One of them says the whole banana, the other one says a quarter of a banana. Who uses a quarter of a banana? What do you do with the rest? But I actually had cut them last night and threw them in the freezer, so that gives it a little bit of a frozen thing too. When you put more of the frozen fruits and veggies in there, you don't have to use as much ice, okay? So I'll just throw, I guess, half of this, and then I'll throw the other half back in the, nah, whatever. We're living on the edge today. I'm gonna throw all of this in. Actually, I think I might have left it out too long. It's starting to thaw a little bit here. I did not wash my hands for 20 seconds, so it's okay though. I haven't left in a few days. Okay, so we have our banana in here. Let's throw in, and P.S., look at this cute little thing. This is the new mini Easy Read measuring cup. So you can totally see the measurements on the back there. So you could play with like American Girl dolls with this, or put medicine in this, or even just like nuts and things that you're not using as much of. So I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. This is where the caramel would go in. So like I said, you can switch this up if you're watching what you're eating. You obviously can put some much healthier things in here, but the peanut butter is loaded with protein. It's going to give me some extra energy so I don't have to eat as much, and I'll get more done today. So who's excited about that? So if you've got a favorite recipe or smoothie flavor down below, please comment, because I can't wait to see some other ones that I should try out. And of course, maybe these days we got to just work with what we've got. Okay, so I've got that there. I think I have some peanut butter saving for later. Now we need to put in, where did I put it? Okay, so here I have a tablespoon of the coconut, a tablespoon of these oats that we don't know if they're the right thing or not. Throw them on top. And then, so perhaps you went to the grocery store and there's not as many vegetables there, there's not as many things as what you should have. I'm going to be honest with you. I've gone to the grocery store a couple times now, and the frozen fruit, the frozen vegetable section has been, so I either have been buying the fresh, or another way that you can make sure that you and your family are getting your fair share of the nutrients and stuff that you should be, are with these enrichables. So if you are finding yourself not getting enough vegetables that you need, or honestly, most of us on a daily basis aren't eating as much vegetables as what we should have, throw a packet of this kale and fiber in, and it's going to be like the equivalent of 2 cups of kale in your food. So these packets are for a serving of 4 basically. So just put it in your things like your ground beef or some of your vegetables, mac and cheese. I don't know. Maybe your kids are super picky and only eat mac and cheese. They're not eating any vegetables. Throw some of this in there. I will warn you, it'll turn it like a greenish hue. So it's better if you use like darker foods, unless you think that your kids aren't gonna mind, okay? But what I'm gonna use today, this is actually my favorite one. If I can, I thought I had one opened up. Let me dig through here again. Is the pea protein. I swear I had one open, but maybe I'm just going crazy. Oh, I do. It's right here. Okay, so the pea protein, because I have separated these, honestly, I even put these in my coffee. Don't know if that's how they're supposed to work, but I feel like they do. So sometimes I'll measure them out, just put a couple tablespoons in, but I'm just going to pour the whole thing in there today. Okay, so it's about half of one right inside here. So that's going to give me an extra boost. I've got that peanut butter. I've got some pea protein. And guys, these are only made with like ingredients that you can pronounce. So the kale and fiber has chicory root fiber and kale powder. How awesome is that? So none of those extra preservatives and anything. Guess what the pea protein has? Pea protein. That's the only ingredient. So if you've got allergies, different things like that, these are really, really great to boost your foods. And the pea protein either of them, you can't taste it. The only way that you would notice is the kale and fiber, and that's because it turns it a little bit green. Otherwise, your kids are never, ever going to know. Or if you have picky spouses at home, too, pump it into their food. Okay? So what we're going to do now is just screw this right on top. So this is our blade. It has been sitting in my dish rack since Caitlin used it last, and I wasn't sure what it was for till I was looking for it last night. Isn't that embarrassing? Okay, so I'm going to just put this on here. Now, I should probably show you this first. So on here, on the adapter set, it's got these little grooves. So what I'm going to do is just flip this right inside there and lock it into place. So let me turn it on here. Okay. Okay. So this blender has all sorts of different settings, and because I don't read instructions, obviously, I wouldn't even know which one to put it on or the timing or whatever, but this makes it crazy easy for you because all you do is just turn it to smoothie and press start. So it's going to go for 1 minute, and while that's going, let me show you something else. So I love that I don't have to do anything. And I don't have any extra cleanup. It's going to be super easy peasy. But I'll wait for just a sec. And maybe you are trying to figure out what you're going to have for dinner tonight. I've talked several times about my freezer meals, but just like true Vanessa fashion, I never pulled anything out of the freezer last night. So where are we now? I've got a frozen bag of food. This one is pesto ranch chicken, and I can't even throw it in the crock pot because it's frozen solid. So guess what I'm gonna do? This is just about done. All done. So this is frozen solid, can't even fit into my crock pot. So here's what you do. You just pull out one of our pieces of cookware, so our non-stick or the stainless non-stick. I chose to use one of our older style griddle pans for this because it is long and flat and holds my bag of food. So you're probably thinking, why, right? So these all have crazy energy conduction properties to them. So when extreme heat or extreme cold hits it, it goes and it evenly distributes throughout the entire pan. So even though I don't have it on top of my stove, and please don't do that because it will melt the plastic into your food and be super bad for you. Don't do that. So I'm just going to leave this out on the counter, just let it thaw for a little bit, and then I'm going to throw it in my crock pot or my rock crock with a slow cooker stand and just let it simmer for the day. It's going to be a mystery meal. I can kind of see what's in here now. But I made a whole bunch of these up when I could only buy the fresh produce, and I didn't even know what I made. So it looks like there's carrots in here, maybe definitely chicken and ranch and pesto. It's in the name. But I there may be some broccoli. If there's not, I'm probably just going to cut some and throw it in there with it. Just let it cook, right? Or throw some potatoes in, some random things that I have laying around the house. So this is a way that you can be eating healthier and fresher, not be having all that processed stuff. You'll see that I had hot dogs and pierogies last night. So let me just show you my my smoothie here. Oh, thank goodness. I must not have this screwed on well enough. Okay. There we go. Now it clicked into place. So I'll just turn this off. Look at that. So I'm not even going to need a thick straw because that is perfect. So I've got a smoothie to get me through the day. We'll have dinner prepared and be eating healthy, friends, because you don't want to be featured on the TV show at the end of all of this, right? So take care of yourself, and we'll be chatting with you soon. Have a great one.